So in this video, I'm going to be just vulnerable and be real with you, be real with the world, as far as talking about internal struggles, which is what I do on my channel. I talk about, the mental toughness that we all go through to varying degrees, and what we do to ameliorate that, or what we do to help ourselves be functional and of a disposition that we would choose, because it is limited here. So through my years with feeling like I don't have a purpose or a passion, that I have enough monetary success to have my own space and curate my own environment and have my dreams happen, as far as community, event space, and all the ideas I have, all the way from bands to writer rooms to a different style of open mic and song sharing, and just a really community oriented place. But anyway, I don't want to get into that, but I'm just in the place in life that I am right now. And I've talked about in other videos how I've spent, well, the longest time I spent sober was 5 years, almost 5 years. But I got really depressed after a breakup, and I just couldn't seem to get out of that. I was depressed actually during the relationship too, because the job I was working at for 6 years was just mind-numbing. But it was hard to leave because I had good benefits, and so I ended up self-medicating, got back into smoking. And it's not that I am so much obsessed with the substances, even though I find them interesting, how they each have a different effect, and their different effects on me. I'm more trying to accomplish my dreams, and I'll use whatever I can to help me. It's like whatever I can to help me do that. It's like I had a great analogy I was thinking of earlier. I can't think of right now, but if you have a tool to help you accomplish what you're doing, from a practical standpoint, it makes sense to use that tool. Of course, everything, there's always side effects. There's always what's the repercussions? What's the causality, right? So you have to have that work for you. And so I wanted to talk about my personal, which is very different from anyone else I know, my personal relationship with Kratom, and how I've used that through my, with my chronic depression. And with Kratom, or anything that gets you high, there's always, you have to face the low at one point. And right now in my relationship with Kratom, I've been taking it every day, and so I'm addicted. So I get withdrawals every morning because I stopped taking it in the evening or in the late afternoon, so I can have a good sleep, which is very essential. But yeah, I wake up almost every morning with withdrawals and sweats, but that to me, it's the withdrawals I experience, that even though I go down to the existential depths, which can't be great on a psyche over all this time, the causality is the evidence is before you. But it pales in comparison. What I'm saying is the calm down, or the what's the word? The withdrawal is not as bad as just my natural struggle with depression. So I already like know how to like manage that. But it's like doing a job you don't want to do, but you just have to do it because there's no other way around it. So it's just like getting up in the morning and your house is full of garbage and you just take it all out, clear it out. But I was just like, when I was sober, I was just letting that garbage just pile up. I had this illusion that like it's like just living this righteous life, like I would be fine, it would heal my depression. And God, that was devastating to find out that I couldn't make that work, or I was just too stupid, or didn't have enough mentorship, whatever. But for fuck's sakes, you know, it's my life and I care and I'm trying to do the best about it. So it's still worth it to me to take Kratom because I'm able to, it helps me be present and more involved in my life instead of like my natural state, which is a kind of distant. Like I'll get a little bit naturally disassociative on my own, and that helps me like just engage in things. Just like a cup of coffee, it's very similar to coffee. It's just like a cup of coffee, you're like easier to be social, right? Same kind of thing. So yeah, I use coffee, I use that. Obviously, actually this is the first cigarette I've had in days, because I really have been making some progress with not smoking. And when I do choose to smoke, I allow myself to enjoy it because I deserve to enjoy things, as we all do. Even though, it's like one of those stimulants. It helps you be present and involved in the physical world, whereas I naturally I go into a trance realm. I don't know how to describe it. I haven't really met anyone else that's had that since childhood. Like that's why I failed second grade, because I would just stare at the wall. I had no interest, and I had to learn how to learn. And then whatever helped me learn, I would push into that and just basically figure out what works through trial and error, which is, in my opinion, like a really lousy way to go. Like adequate mentorship, anyone who has adequate mentorship, don't take that for granted, because that is a rare thing. A lot of my like musician inspirations, they worked hard, but they were fortunate to have these good mentors in their life, and that made a huge difference. I had kind of the opposite. Like my family completely, like, in a horrible way, broke apart. But things have been getting better over the years. But it's still like the damage like lasts a lifetime. It's like you have to live with certain things. It's just invisible. Like you can't see. It's not like being in a wheelchair where it's like everyone's like, oh, this person's disabled. It's just like you wouldn't be able to tell. And that's kind of what makes it tricky, because some people that have it, they aren't even aware of like that. So they're just, it's really throwing them off, Anyway, one of the other side effects of Kratom that I actually really like is you get the perfect poops. Shit you not. It is like, it's like clean, and like, of course, I also take probiotics because it can back you up. I mean, it works on your opioid receptors. And I don't really like the like downer side of it, but I like the stimulant side of it. So I don't like, that's the thing, I'm not in love with it, and I know I'm gonna quit again. I got addicted to it before, I got dependent on it before, and I quit it before for a couple years, And then I just got so depressed that I was like, you know what? I'll use anything. I'll humble myself because you get to a point, like there's layers of depression. You get to a point when you just want to totally like check out. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be too pious as to not have the help of substances if they're going to help me, even though you have to contend with, the downsides of them. But it's like the dosage is important. You have to know yourself. You have to know what your body is telling you. And I've spent a lot of time in my life listening to my body. I said as I smoking a cigarette. Got to appreciate the irony. It's like, you can't be too serious of life. Like, if you're too serious in life, you don't have fun. Like, you're just like rigid and judgmental. I mean, we're swathed in all kinds of ignorance and stupidity, and yes, a lot of it's distasteful, but you gotta have fun with it. You gotta be stupid sometimes, But it's just about, it's like talking dirty. Like, there's quite an art, because it can be done wrong and it's really cringe, but when done right, it's almost like, I had this whole other thought while I was on my bike ride, that I was like, instead of just destroying these demons, I think a better thing to do would be to transmute them, which is what a lot of people would argue is the only way anyways. But basically, it's like recycling it, like recycling their energy, like just from a practical standpoint, like disassembling whatever makes up those beings, returning their spirit to like the collective consciousness, but without their corrupted, like malignant, malicious ways, So I'm a little stammery today, more than normal. I used to have a tough time with stammering when I was young, and it took me a long time to work out of it. But every once in a while I have a day where it's kind of like the flow of words isn't as smooth and easy, like with the clarity and ease that I would want to have. It's more like it'll get kind of like built up, and then all my words kind of crumple together. Then I have to reorganize them. It takes intention. But I found that, I found value in like the work that I do and who I am as I move through this space. I have the power to exemplify how to transmute this energy if I can learn how to do it, which I feel like I have been, but I don't know how to display that, because it's all a felt presence thing. But a lot of these things, like, we all have our spiritual challenges and our mental struggles, and it's just important to know them and be aware of them and laugh at them. Does this help? Yeah, well, catch you guys later.